Something to get off my chest. It was just bothering me. So I'm a guy who is suffering with herniated disc problems. I had it the first time, and I had to go through physical therapy, and then sooner or later I couldn't even do that much physical therapy because first of all I had no insurance. So of course they dismissed me as quickly as possible from the hospital, so I wasn't able to get the full treatment of physical therapy. So luckily I just tend to teach myself and remember what was taught to me, and I was practicing it at home, and luckily through the grace of God I was able to get better and head back to work. Now that this has happened to me a second time, for some reason it's been a little worse. Turns out that I've had a degenerative disc on the L4 and a herniated disc on L5, and it's been doing a severe number on my sciatica. That made me have to go on disability twice. I'm on my second round of disability because the first time I was on disability, the doctors made it so impossible for me to get approved for short-term disability because they would take forever to do what they were supposed to do on their part and take the phone call from the short-term disability people and answer some questions. Or I would give them a form and they would never get around to it. So sadly, I had no other choice but to go back to work and my short-term disability because I wasn't getting anything for it now, and how am I going to be able to pay the rent and bills? So I had no other choice but to go back to work. And I knew that that was the wrong thing because little by little it started coming back again and it was getting even more severe. So this time I decided, let me take my mom's advice because it's true what she says. She said that your health is more important. You're not going to be any good use to anyone if you don't take care of yourself first. So I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it the right way, go on short-term disability. This time I picked another doctor, a pain management doctor. She's a beautiful person, and she said that she would be willing to help me out. So in the meanwhile, I'm here trying to heal, but also I can't do that much physical therapy outside of my home because my insurance only gives me a certain amount of days. I get like 12 days of physical therapy. That's not enough to make a person finally heal from what they're going through. That takes time. So again, I decided to remember what it was taught to me and decided to do the physical therapy at home. In the meanwhile, at least the pain management doctor, she's taking care of me. She gave me some epidural shots. Hopefully it'll take in and it'll start working. She said I got to give it a few days for it to work. I think and I know the only thing that's been helping me get little better, little by little, is the grace of God. God is real because I get down on my knees and I pray to Him crying and suffering, and I know He listens. He tends to be the super doctor that actually cares about my health and takes the time to help me out. Because of that, it just makes me feel like I just want to get closer to God because He's shown me so many times that He loves me so much. Even when I don't do my part to honor and respect Him, He still comes through for me, and I just couldn't keep on doing this anymore. I was feeling guilty. I was telling myself, this is not fair to God. He's doing all of this for me. What am I doing for Him? So, I want to start always constantly dedicating myself more to God as my way of saying thank you for being there for me when doctors don't even care about you no more. But anyway, that's another topic, but thank you, God. But what I want to say is that what hurts me the most is that I have this cool boss. He's the owner of the company that I work for. So he sent me some information and told me, listen, I want you to check up on these doctors. They're really good. My daughter went through the same thing you went through, and she is 99% pain-free. So that told me right there, okay, they are the doctors that don't take care of the symptoms. They actually take care of the problem, so you no longer have to go through or have symptoms. So, okay, he kept on pushing me, and I knew, part of me told me, I don't think this is going to work out because, he's a good man, but he's a wealthy man. I'm not wealthy. Most likely, he probably got the best care because he can afford it. So I decided to still, take a chance. Let me call. So I call the doctor that specializes in the spinal surgeries, that they attack the problem instead of just the symptom and giving you pills all the time. I tend to see a pattern with that when it comes to people who are not rich, who are trying to get by. We're always given things to treat the symptoms but not the problem, so that we no longer have to go through this again. So I called and I asked them, I would like to make an appointment. How much is the consultation? $600 just for the consultation. $600. Why? Because it seems to me that the best doctors tend to be out of network. Therefore, in-network doctors, you already know you're going to get the shitty crap. You're just going to get doctors who are not going to care about you so much. They want to get you out of their office. So, here, take this pill, and we recommend physical therapy. You know, everybody tends to say, oh, physical therapy is the key. That's better than surgery because, you know, you don't want to go through surgery and go through complications after surgery or whatever. But I can't help but to think in the back of my mind, here are specialized doctors that specialize in these type of problems. They attack the problem, not the symptom. But you can't afford it. It's only for the wealthy. Because if that consultation is going to cost me $600, I can only imagine how much the surgery will cost me. This is out of network, people. Therefore, most insurances for regular people, you know, poor people or people just trying to survive, by the way, it's us who make the wealthy rich. But anyway, it's going to cost us more because the in-network, you don't get the procedure that you're supposed to get because it's going to be way expensive or you just don't even, your plan doesn't even cover it. It won't probably even cover a little bit of it. So the best doctors I'm seeing are outside of the network, but then what's the point of seeing a doctor outside of the network when you can't afford them? When all of a sudden you start realizing, wow, this is where I finally see the separation between wealthy people and non-wealthy people. We are the ones that help make wealthy people wealthy, but yet when it comes to us having problems with our body and their solutions out there that can finally attack the problem and not the symptoms, we can't afford them, but the wealthy people can. And let me tell you something, they get treatment because a person can tell. When you call a doctor that's out of network, and you ask them automatically how much even just the consultation is, you already get treated differently because then they realize, oh, this is not a rich person. Because if it was a rich person, he wouldn't even ask or care about the consultation fee. So automatically, you start getting the little attitude as if all of a sudden their demeanor changes and they don't want to deal with you. And it's sad. I just called my mom now and I said, Mom, this is so sad. You know, we're told in this world that we're all the same, we're all human beings, but we all don't get treated equally. There are more people who are not wealthy going through so many health problems that can easily be solved by professional doctors who are out there that can actually attack the problem and not the symptoms. But they don't make it available to us. How are we supposed to still make the wealthy wealthy if you can't even help us attack the problem so that we no longer have to go through this, so we can be the type of employees that can stay loyal to you, that can keep on helping you make money? It makes no sense to me. You're supposed to look out for those who help you. You're supposed to look out for those who help you become rich, who help you be rich. You get reminded, and it's so sad. You get reminded, and it's so sad that you're not equal. You're not considered a human being like everyone else. It all really depends on what's in your pocket. So there are more millions of Americans who are not wealthy, constantly suffering, constantly going through some type of pain or some type of problem or another that can easily be solved by doctors who can attack the problem and not the symptoms. But we're not privy to this type of care because it's not affordable to us, but it's affordable to the rich. So therefore you can see a rich person going through the same thing that a poor person is going through, but the difference is in the end, that rich person will end up walking again. Meanwhile, that poor person is struggling every day just to get the energy to just move one step in front of the other. They're both going through the same thing, but one can afford the procedure and the other one can't. Meanwhile, we pay for health insurance. For what? For what? Just to see doctors who dismiss us and give us a prescription for a pill, And then the wealthy go and see a doctor. They don't get the prescription for the pill. They get the treatment that they need to get so that they no longer have to go through this. How can I feel that I'm a human? How can I feel that I'm valued? I'm being told we're all human beings, but then you see the difference. And then you see that you're not valued at all. That it really all depends on what you have in your pocket. It's so wrong. You know, my mom said there was a time when doctors wanted to be doctors because they wanted to help people. Now, these days, people just want to be doctors so they can get into the private practice, so they don't have to get into the public practice, so they can make money and not have to bother with people who are actually suffering, even though those same doctors were probably poor at one time or another. But once they become a doctor and hit that private practice, nobody wants to touch the public practice. And when they do, you can tell. They don't want to deal with you. They're so over you. And I'm like, then why be a doctor if you're just going to help out one type of creed of people, one type of society and not the rest? But then you tell us we're all human beings. We have health insurance that charges us up the wazoo. But all of a sudden, when we need what we really need to treat the problem, that's going to cost us a lot. Because it's out of network, or the insurance doesn't cover, or if the insurance does cover it, they're only going to pay like 1/3 of it. You're going to still end up paying thousands and thousands of dollars out of your own pocket, which you'll never pay. So I feel, wow, if I do these type of expensive procedures, I'll never be able to pay it back. I'll be dead and still they'll be charging my ghost bills. They'll be still sending bills to my ghost, saying, what's up, bitch? You got to pay. This frustrates me so much. It makes me so sad. We're all human beings. We all bleed if we get cut. We all feel when we're sad or happy. I feel that anything that can attack the problem and not just the symptoms should be available to all people. And could you imagine how much better the world would get, or how much even more richer the wealthy people would get if you look after the people that help make you rich in the first place? Then that person will be able to go right back to work right away. Continue to contribute. Continue to be loyal. I'm just so sad. This is so disgusting how this world is run. There are even, I know for sure that there are even cures for a lot of problems, a lot of diseases, a lot of things that are going on in this world. But when you're poor, you're not going to get that cure. You're going to get the watered down version that's going to make you pay for it for the rest of your life over and over. And you're still not going to reach the point that a wealthy person would reach if it came out of their own pocket. Because they would finally get the cure. Well, meanwhile, we get the watered down version that will never get cured. It's so sad. I know for a fact that there are solutions out there. There are even cures out there. But step in right away, the pharmaceutical company, they step right in and say, well, we can give this person the right pill that would get rid of the symptoms like that. Get rid of his problem like that. But for the rest, we're just going to keep on raising the prices. We're never going to ever give them the actually good medicine. We'll give them the generic medicine. And when you ask, let me tell you, when you finally ask for the good medicine, when you say, I don't want generic, I want the real stuff, oh my goodness. One example. One day I went to my doctor and I said, listen, I'm having trouble sleeping. I don't want the generic version. I want that version that they always show on TV, Cymbalta, and this other type of pill that will help you sleep right away. So then I asked, I want that one because then I know it's going to work. Turns to find out, just for one pill is $300. So, okay, give me the generic version because that's all I'm worth is the generic version. So I'm never actually going to really finally feel healed or finally feel like I can get some good sleep or this disease can finally be taken care of and no longer come back. I can't get that because once I ask for the real pill, I get told, this is how much it costs. And then you realize right there, only a rich person can afford this. This is crazy. But the cure is there. The solution is there, but it just won't be available to your regular Joe. All of this is so disgusting that I'm supposed to still love this planet that we live on, when it's obvious the rich are really the only ones that get taken care of properly? Meanwhile, the poor people for the rest of their lives will continue to suffer on this symptom, suffer that symptom, constantly go through this type of pain, this type of heartache, this type of problem. Knowing that the answer, the solution is out there to get rid of the problem so you no longer have the symptoms, it will never happen. It will never happen. I'm so disgusted, man. So disappointed in doctors that they totally forgot about the Hippocratic Oath and it no longer matters. The only thing that matters is how much money can I make. I'm not going to make this type of money if I work helping poor people, helping just your regular Joe. No, that's not gonna help me raise up my status. I need to have status. I need to be wealthy, even if it's at the cost of not helping others who are not wealthy. Forget about the Hippocratic Oath. Forget about actually just caring for all human beings. For not seeing any difference in any human being, just seeing a human being who has a problem and needs help. Nope. It's now, we work for the rich. If they have a problem, we'll give them a solution and they'll no longer go through this problem again. But for the poor, who cares? Let them keep on suffering. That's not my problem. Sad. So sad. We pay so much in healthcare and it gets us nothing. It gets us dismissed by the doctors who are supposed to help us, and it gets us rejected by the doctors who can help us but we can't afford them. And I don't know how any doctor, whether it's an in-network doctor or out-of-network doctor, where there's a doctor taking care of regular Joes and a doctor taking care of wealthy people, I don't know how any of them can go to sleep at night and still wake up the next day feeling good about what they did, feeling good about their actions. They don't think it. But I guarantee, if ever one day that ever happened to them and they become poor all of a sudden, everything taken away from them, they'll be asking the same question. Why can't I be treated like a human being like everybody else? Why does it matter what status I have in order to get the right treatment? Well, this is all I gotta say for now. Might put another blog about something else, you never know. But this one, all doctors should be ashamed and disgusted with themselves. That they rather live this type of way and not even care about having a conscience. This is true what they say. Money's everything. Conscience can go out the window. The only thing that matters is the dollar bill.